You know, it's me at the minute. I'm gonna have another go at streaming the voice chat. This a lot better than it did last time, which was, in all honesty, an unmitigated disaster. But we ploughed on, and that's what we do when things don't work. Carry on. So you can. So we're gonna have another go tonight. So we've got voice chat with Forex in a couple of minutes. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. Big announcements. Big announcements. Chat today. Screen. See. So what? Big announcements in the Animal Farm voice chat today, 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 8 p.m. GMT, including dev dates. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping there's going to be some bits and pieces about drip, but we'll wait and see. It'll be good. I'll listen to Forex anyway. So countdown as well. It's exciting. Actually, be on. Sound setting correct. Should be all above board. Hopefully, get to see and hear. If you don't get this live, don't worry about it. You'll be able to catch it up later. Catch up and watch it at your leisure. But you can see that I am. Where are we? A button. Come on, get with the 160 drip. It's just amazing, and I get to 1,000. Absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, we're waiting for 20 seconds till the big man steps up and does his thing. So before we get into the main event, remember to like the stream. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It does help me out. Helps get the stream out there. Helps get the channel out there. I'm at 645 subscribers now, which is unbelievable. So thank you so much to everyone. And let's get to. Oh, he's late by 4 seconds. Probably 3 minutes late. So where was it? We'll keep an eye on that. Where was I? So I am at 960 drip. It will take that much. So that's good, isn't it? Bear in mind I started with 1, if you remember. So yeah, 960 drip. And I'll be at 970 near as damn it by 10, 11 o'clock tonight. So I am closing in on that 1,000 drip mark, which is going to be amazing. When I hit 1,000 drip, I never thought I'd get there. That seemed a lifetime away. Well, to be fair, not even 25th of January is my anniversary. That's what it's been. Not quite at the 12 months. This time 12 months ago was probably when I watched the famous Julia's Gems video, which was the how's you do it? Yeah. What's up, guys? We got another gem here. I can't do it. But yeah. Let's see, where are we? Still late. Come on. Oh, TG's. Max hate Telegram. I don't know what. Hate it. Eating Dobby. Yeah. Stalwart of the Puddler Little Drippers. It's me and you at the moment, but I say after the last disaster, I'm not surprised. This is really more of a making sure that everything I'm trying to set up a new streaming software and everything. I'm hoping that yeah, it all works. It should all work. I tested it before, and I did that last time. Said it was working. So never know, do you? Oh,
is going to be done on YouTube. We may like dual cast on Telegram as well, but we got the avatar, and I got my OBS and all of that set up to be able to use the VTuber avatar. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely for next Thursday, we're going to be doing that. I'm looking forward to that. So I got a lot to cover. I just put out the tweet. Let me write it in the call group that we're live here. Yeah, but we got a lot to discuss today. Big pumps in the market too. You know, this is essentially the the inflation data, right? That's what's driving the market these days more than anything. Inflation data. So let me see. Just letting people know we're live.
You not hear? You not hear the Forex? But hear him all right. Telling me you can hear him all right. Well, he's not saying it at the moment.
Oops.
Turn my mic off when Forex is speaking. Hopefully that should get rid of any echo. Again, if it's not, let me know.
Here we go. All right, guys. About 10 seconds. We'll get this going. Okay, let's go. We're gonna have more people coming in, but we can get started now. So the migration, the stable swap migration process is completed. The development is completed. The testing is completed. We did our own internal tests on our side. We had our partner devs also test it and do audits on the migration process, and then we even had members of the community do the migration with just small amounts of their balance to test it on mainnet on our real contracts, just to leave no doubt. And it's working perfectly. It's a very simple process. So the way it works is there will be a button for migration. You click migrate. It will pop up a dialog box with just a simple set of instructions, basically confirm, next, confirm, next, confirm, next. And it's going to take you through the whole process of, and it's fully automated, right? So we wanted to make it we wanted to make it so it takes no thought and there's no ability to mess it up, right? So to make it as easy as possible, we've automated the full process. So it will you will click migrate. It will pop up a dialog box that has you confirm a 7-step process. And the initial step is it's removing your stake, it's unpairing it, it's pairing it in the stable swap pool, and then it's staking the new stable swap LP. It's approving the new stable swap LP, and then it's staking the stable swap LP. So it's 7 steps altogether, and it's essentially impossible to mess up, right? So there's never any, even in this case, any custodial ownership of the tokens going on. So this is all being done on your side. We've just automated it to make it as simple as possible. Now, how we're going to ensure that people migrate over is on next Thursday at noon EST, which is when we're going to do the migration. we're going to be shutting down the APY for people that have not migrated. So essentially, we had to create new pools, right? Because whenever you have a new asset being staked, in this case, the stable swap LP, you need a new pool for that. So the migration, as far as the dashboard goes, will not be. You're not going to have to work with multiple dashboards like you would normally have to if there were multiple pools, because we're making it very simple. But when you do the migration, technically on the back end, you are going into a different pool. So the way that we're incentivizing people to move over is that on Thursday at noon next week, we're going to be stopping the APY for people that have not migrated yet. So because it's technically a new pool, we're going to give people an hour grace period where they'll be able to migrate, where the APY will have been stopped for people that have not migrated, and the APY will not have been started yet for the people that have migrated. And there will be a grace period there. And the reason for doing this is because since it's technically a new pool, the people, as people migrate over, their APY is going to be dependent on how many other people are in that pool. So we don't want to create a scenario where the first person that migrates, say someone insider, and they're very quick on being able to migrate. We don't want them to migrate over and be the only person in the pool for a couple blocks and get the full allocation of reward tokens for those blocks only going to one person, right? So to prevent any kind of insider shenanigans or anything like that, we're giving a 1 hour grace period where everybody that migrates over will be on the same page when the rewards go live. That way, there's no scenario where one or two people or a small handful of people are getting all of the APY for a couple blocks, right? So just like when we went live with Animal Farm, we gave a hour-long grace period for people to enter the pools before the emissions start. It's going to be the same thing. So next week on Thursday at noon, we're going to shut down the APY for people that haven't migrated. And 1 hour after that, we're going to start the APY for people that have migrated. And the reason why you want to be there for this is because although there's a 1 hour grace period where the majority of people should be able to migrate over, of course, not everybody will be able to migrate over because people, they may be busy, whatever the case is, they may not be paying attention, whatever the case is that means that they're not migrating within that hour. The people that do migrate over within that hour will get a higher APY than they would have before the migration because there'll be less people in the pool. Now, this is also an opportunity for people that might not be in the stable pools to decide, okay, now I want to, I want to take advantage of this. Let me get in the stable pools because I can get in that first hour and get that increased APY. So not only is it a benefit to the whole project because we'll be able to earn yield on the back end, increased yield relative to what we were earning before because of the improvements that they made to the stable swap pool. Also, the people that do it early and are there on time will get an increased APY for that period of time. And most importantly, new people who want to get into Animal Farm with stablecoins but have not been able to because you cannot create stablecoin pairing on the old pools anymore on PancakeSwap. So if someone wants to get into Animal Farm right now with stablecoins, they cannot do it, right? Their only option is to create a stable swap pair, which is not yet being supported by our platform, but will be starting next Thursday. And we have a a benefit here as a early adopter of the stable swap pairing, because a lot of the other platforms out there have not yet integrated the new stable swap pairing. So that's great for us, because there'll be some people that were in other projects, for example, that have the old stable swap LPs and not maximally benefiting from it. And they will be attracted to our platform because now we're one of the few projects that is supporting the new stable swap LPs, and we can allow them to optimize their yield and optimize their earning potential on those new stable swap LPs. So it's good all the way around. And this is going live next Thursday at noon. On Monday, we'll be releasing a Medium article with a full breakdown of all of the technical details, an easy tutorial type of breakdown in the Medium article. So people, that will be an educational resource. And we're going to be spending the next week just making sure the community is educated and up to date and on board with how this is going to go. Another reason why this is a major positive is because the people that are currently in stablecoin pairings on Animal Farm will be essentially whitelisted from the deposit fee on the new pairs. So because this is a migration where we are essentially evolving with the space, we're not charging people that were in the old stablecoin pools for to do a deposit in the new ones, right? This is of course, this takes extra work, right? This is one of the reasons why we couldn't just do it overnight. It takes extra work. We need to pull all of that data. We need to import all of that data into the new MasterChef contracts and pools. We need to it's significant work to do this right, and we are dedicated to doing everything in the most optimal way. So this is why we took a couple weeks to do it, but because we did it the right way, your people that are currently in the stable swap pairing will not need to pay additional fees, right? There will be the withdrawal fee because we have no way to whitelist that, right? Because once you've deposited into the contract, to exit into the contract, you have to pay the withdrawal fee. That's hard coded into the contract, but that gets offset by not having to pay the deposit fee. And it's a major benefit because what this is going to do is create a major injection for the pig pen, because those withdrawal fees, of course, the vast majority of it, something like 90% of it, goes towards actually, I think off the top of my head, I think it's something like 70% goes to pig pen injections, 20% goes to dogs buybacks, something like this. The vast majority of it goes to pig pen injections and buying back and adding liquidity to dogs. So it's the capital that will be essentially accessed through this migration is going back to the user in the form of BUSD injections to the pig pen and buyback and adding of liquidity to the dogs token. So at the end of the day, the users benefit from this all the way around, right? There's really no downside to this other than it's a bit of a hassle to have to migrate. But this is this is the space, right? It's a fast moving space and we have to move with it. So we're feeling really good about it. As I said, it's been tested multiple times. It's been tested on testnet. It's been tested in simulation. It's been tested by our dev team, and it's even been tested on mainnet with real accounts in real pools, just migrating 0.001% of a couple of volunteers' funds just to test it on our live contracts, just to leave no doubt. And also, it of course we're interested in the security side of things, but by the time we get to the point where the user is testing it, we already know it's right from a security aspect. It was more about getting their feedback on the process and what we can do to make the process a little more intuitive and simple, right? And that was good because we did get some feedback that we are implementing. Essentially, the feedback that we got, not to get into too much detail, is just essentially if you get halfway through the process and then you stop for whatever reason, you close your browser or whatever, and then you hit migrate again, it's going to want to start you at 1 again, and you have to skip to level 3 manually. And the feedback we got is essentially if you could kind of automate it so it knows where the person is in the process. So for whatever reason their computer crashes or whatever, and they come back to it, it's going to start them off at the process where they were at. They don't have to manually click it. So that's a little feedback that we got from the testing, and I think it's useful feedback that we're going to implement in the live model. So that's that. We have had a ton of progress as far as development all the way around. So let me stick with Animal Farm. So we had to make a decision whether we were going to decide, because we have 3 dev teams working for us right now. Okay, so we have a 4-man dev team that's working on Drip. We have a 2-man dev team that's working on Animal Farm, a back-end dev and a front-end dev. The front-end dev is a full-time student plus has a full-time job, and he's made a commitment to his job, so he can't just quit. So and these 2 developers are also the developers that built Scratchy. So we had to make a decision what the next step was for us. Should we focus on, with this 2-man dev team, to build out the next thing for Animal Farm, or should we put their focus right on going to Scratchy? And what we decided is the dev who is a full-time student and also has a full-time job, he's the front-end dev for Animal Farm. He's also the front-end dev for Scratchy. What we decided for him is that either he will decide to do some of the work that needs to be done with Scratchy as far as the front end. All of the dashboards are built for Scratchy. All of the actual hard functionality side of the UI and front end is done for Scratchy. We need things like the landing page, the home page, the cosmetic user interface stuff still done. And then the backend dev, he's fully committed, right? He's fully on our team, ready to go. And we have to decide, do we do the next thing with them for Animal Farm, or do we focus on Scratchy? And what we decided was, let's look at what we have available right now that can go live on Animal Farm essentially today, if assuming the tests went well and all of that, and where Scratchy is. And what we decided was, let's take a look at the state of Dogs Roulette, because we haven't been paying attention to Dogs Roulette for about 8 months, something like that, maybe 6 months. The developer of Dogs Roulette is not, we're not working with him anymore, but Dogs Roulette, last time I spoke with him about it, was completed and just needed testing. So to kind of refresh myself on that, I went back, I went over the contracts, I spoke with Maje, right, who's a member of our community, who helped me do some of the math side of Dogs Roulette, and also Scratchy for that matter. And I got brought up. I just had a refresher conversation, and we are are pretty confident that Dogs Roulette is finished, and from a contract perspective, and all it needs is testing. So what we decided to do is have the V2 Animal Farm back end dev to start testing on Dogs Roulette today. I have a meeting with him when we get out of this voice chat, because Scratchy, even when we're finished with testing and a few other things, we still have to do the raise. We still have to do the promo, which is going to take a month or whatever. If we can get Dogs Roulette out, or at least get it prepared to be out in a week, then of course it makes sense to do that rather than putting it off for months, right? So and the thing is, we have so many different products that are in the end stages of development that it's about having developers to be able to get it out, right? So it's really just making a decision on what are we going to have the most impact on for our developer resources. So we decided it makes sense, since Dogs Roulette is finished from a contract perspective, only needs testing. We're gonna have and since Scratchy still needs some UI work to be done, we're gonna have the backend dev for Animal Farm, who's also the backend dev for Scratchy, start testing the Dogs Roulette game this afternoon, and the front end dev for Scratchy and V2 Animal Farm is gonna put his focus on Scratchy to get the UI stuff that needs to be finished. That way, we're killing two birds with one stone and able to get out Dogs Roulette much faster because it's ready to go. So we don't want to wait till Scratchy's over to do that. Now, so that's the state with those two developers. Then we have the 4-man dev team who's working on Drip right now. I'll get to that after I'm done speaking on Animal Farm. And then we have 3 additional developers who are available right now. The thing is, 2 of them are front end devs, very, very skilled, talented front end devs that do great work that we want to work with. But you can't have 2 front end devs, right? You need a back end dev too. So yesterday we interviewed a back end dev that was able to provide 4 other projects he's built. He looked very competent, and what we're going to end up doing for Animal Farm is pairing this developer that I just mentioned with one of the 2 front end devs that we have available right now to work on the single asset lending for Animal Farm. So this way, all at the same time, we have a 4-man dev team working on Drip. We have a 2-man dev team working on the single asset lending for Animal Farm. And we have the back end testing for Dogs Roulette happening. So we can try to get that out very shortly, while the front end side of Scratchy is being worked on. And that I said we had 2 front end devs that are available. The other front end that's available is going to work with the back end dev for Dogs Roulette to do the front end aspect of Dogs Roulette. So we right now we're already working pretty efficiently, right? We have 2 dev teams working full time, and we have a few other developers that are available that just became available because the stable swap migration and testing was just finished. So this afternoon we're gonna have the backend dev starting to work on Dogs Roulette, and get the front end dev on board working with Dogs Roulette as well. And we're gonna have 3 dev teams working at the same time on Drip, Dogs Roulette, and the single asset lending for Animal Farm. And this way, and they're all relatively close to being finished, right? And one of the devs will be working on front end stuff for Scratchy as well. Once the Dogs Roulette is out, then the back end dev that built Scratchy will put his focus back on Scratchy. But all that really needs to be done with Scratchy, from a back end perspective, is testing, right? So we need to get some audits done. We need to do the raises. We need to do the front end work. But Scratchy is, we've been 90% complete with Scratchy for months now, for like 5 or 6 months. But Animal Farm, it's always something, right? It was the migration with the syrup pools, and then it's a migration with the stable swap. But the great thing is we prepared our new V2 contracts to be extremely flexible as far as doing new migrations. So it will never be the case where we have to do the kind of thing where tokens are paused or anything like that. So it's a whole different scenario that we're in as opposed to the other migrations. But it still takes development work, which we had to take developers who would have been working on Scratchy to do this, right? But we're working extremely efficient now, and I would say within a week from now, we're going to have all of the dev teams fully occupied, 8 or 9 devs working full time on our behalf getting these things done. And we already have 6 developers working full time on our behalf getting things done right now. So we feel great from a development perspective, and we're getting a ton done that we were not able to do in the past. I cannot give enough praise to BP, our new project manager. He has been kicking ass. So before the holidays, he came on. He had to kind of get up to speed with things. We had fired our previous marketing manager, so he was having to handle a lot of the marketing management along with me, and we were spending essentially all day interviewing, trying to find new marketing managers, trying to create marketing opportunities, and it was just taking up all of our time. Now, since he's been caught up to date with everything, and we've got with a new marketing management team who's not just one person working management, but a whole team, we have made a ton of progress because they have been able to focus on the marketing aspect with feedback from us, and me and BP have been able to really focus on the development side of things and the ideas and the overall vision side of things. So from a marketing perspective, we have some big moves coming up. So for one, we got the VTuber avatar made for my character. I call him Zim John Ill, right? Because it's just hilarious to me. But it's I'll post a picture of it. It's just so funny. You guys are gonna love it. And what it does is it gives us an ability to have a visual representation on interviews. So, for example, we have some really big YouTube interviews coming up. Altcoin Buzz, Crypto Banter. We have multiple top 5 crypto YouTubers right now on the books scheduled that I'll be giving dates for when we get a little bit closer to them. But we have them locked in, and the sticking point that we were kind of having with them is that they their interview style is 2 people sitting on camera having an interview, right? That's like, you never see a BitBoy interview, for example, where it's one person using like a Google chat avatar, right? Meaning like a flat image, right? It's just not the quality of content that they want to be putting out. And that was a little bit of a sticking point for us because obviously to dox myself and to dox our team would be extremely limited moving forward and opens up a major attack vector to our projects, right? There's geo-located or geocentric um, regulation that you now become potentially subject to. It becomes an attack vector. Say my project manager got a DUI when he was 20 years old, or I'm just saying some random stupid thing that's coming to mind. They'll use that against us. Look, these guys are criminals. Or you see what I'm saying? As far as I know, there's nothing like that on anybody on our team. But I'm just giving an example of how they will use the personalities of a project to smear it and to use it as an attack vector. And if you just don't give them that, and you make the utility and the functionality of your project the centerpiece of it and not personalities, that's when you limit the attack vectors to issues with the functionality of the project. And we believe we have a highly functional, strong project. So there is no attack vector there from a criticizing standpoint. So uh, there's a lot of reasons why it makes sense to remain a team that remains private, right? And as far as I'm concerned, that is the ethos of DeFi and the ethos of crypto, right? It's supposed to be a trustless model. It's not supposed to be based on the personalities of the people involved with the project. I do think that it does matter from an investor standpoint who are the developers, who is the person that's speaking on behalf of the project and all of this, but it should be based on their actions as the developer and on what they are able to deliver. And to do that, in order to have the focus be on that exclusively, you need to be an add-on dev, effectively an add-on team. Now we have done some things behind the scenes that make us more attractive to streamers that only want to work with Doc's teams, and one of those is the VTuber avatar that we have. So at least we can appear on the channel with them and give an interview style where it's two people um, two people appearing on camera, and they can use their template that they're used to, right? So we've already had a lot of success with scheduling now that we are able to get on camera using this cool avatar, basically a VTuber avatar, and really it just took the right people reaching out as well. We were the people that we were the two marketing managers that we brought on previously, one of them had no experience working with crypto projects, but he had some experience in affiliate marketing, right? So he was able to provide some value there. But when it came to reaching out to major crypto influencers, he was severely lacking in the skills required to get them to say yes, essentially. And the marketing manager that we hired after that, we essentially sniped him from a big corporate project, and it was we realized after a couple of weeks that didn't last long, because we realized after a couple of weeks, he was used to working in a crypto environment where essentially not a crypto environment, sorry, a corporate environment where essentially if you look busy, you're getting things done. When the reality is, just because you look busy, just because you're getting things done, doesn't mean you're actually bringing value. So the issue with that was just a lack of delivery, a lot of busy work, a lack of real delivery, and so we kept searching, and we got in contact with this new firm that we've been working with. We basically agreed to work with them right before the holidays. They did some testing over the holidays as far as running some promos, some YouTube promos, some stuff like that, just to get some data to start working with. And we got access to that data. And what we determined from that data is, in this market condition, we need to focus less on volume and focus more on influence. So I'll give the example. When you're in a major bull market, and people are just buying anything that comes across their door, then you want to focus a lot on volume. You want all of the YouTube channels, no matter how shitty they are, to be making videos about your project, because people that have no clue about crypto, that have no clue about DeFi, are just going to go on YouTube, click in DeFi, DeFi, crypto, whatever, and they'll come across a video, and they'll have, they might have no idea if this person is legitimate, if they have any real influence, if the views are botted or whatever. They want to buy something. They see crypto's booming. They hear about all their friends talking about it, and the first video they come across promoting a crypto project, they're gonna buy. In these market conditions, you need to focus more on people that have strong organic communities and influence, where they're focused on looking for quality in a market where you're not going to find a lot of opportunities. So the schedule that they had worked out was initially during the holidays, after before we got the data back, but while that stuff was running, just because I wanted them to make a schedule, was a shitload of YouTubers, like 3-4 YouTube videos a week, but lower quality influencers that, yeah, they may have 30,000 followers, they may have 60,000 followers, but how many of them are actually going to result in an onboarding, right? As opposed to someone like a Ray, right, Bartertown, whose viewer base is organic, and they trust him because he served them for years and brought them quality after quality after quality for a long time. And when he says something, it means something, and they will take action based on his words. Now, it's important to focus on guys like Bartertown, but there are big YouTubers who have this kind of influence as well, and mostly just because they're top 5, top 10 YouTubers. So the feedback that I had from the data and that I gave to the marketing team is, okay, let's not focus on doing 4 videos a week. Let's focus on doing at least 1 video a week and have it be a very high quality video. And if we can get 2 a week, that's great. But we don't want to just be spamming and wasting money on people that have no real influence, that are not actually going to result on onboarding. So this is the approach that we're going to take. And as I said, we got altcoin buzz, we got crypto banter, we reached out to Wendy, right? Who I believe her name's Crypto Wendy something. We've had a lot of success. We're in a meeting right now with BitBoy's management team, and these people are people that shut us down essentially when the other management firms reached out, because they just did not do it in the appropriate way. With this firm, we're having real success, and we're in meetings with these people, and we've already locked in 2 of them. We've already locked in Crypto Banter and Altcoin Buzz, which are Crypto Banter, I think, is like the number 3 most popular crypto YouTuber. So we're having major success here, and you guys are going to see it start to play out over this month. So we're feeling really good about that. Another thing that we're doing is we set up some scripts, which are essentially scraping search engine optimization data on the the highest performing as far as click engagement. So essentially, we're looking at the top DeFi projects. We're looking at their search optimization terms that they're utilizing, and every 3 days we're scraping this data so we can then implement it in our SEO. And we have already started just today, actually, paying for sponsorship on Google and other platforms such as YouTube, and it's been up for it went up like maybe 10 minutes before I got into this VC, and we already had uh, over 100 engagements on Google. So it's already starting to work. So uh, essentially, what I mean is someone put in one of our SEO terms, which could be DeFi, crypto, whatever they are. They're going to be updating every 3 days. And from one of those terms, found our platform, our link, and clicked on it. So we're already seeing this start to play out, and we just did it 10 minutes ago. So this this firm that we're working with really I feel has a lot of potential. They're on it. They are on the same page with us. They're getting paid 5% of the dev fee. So they're not getting paid any flat rates. And what this means is they only get paid based on what they're able to bring to the table as far as capital onboarding. So they're absolutely with us, on the same page with us, and they've been great to work with and very motivated. They have content creators who are working on various content for us, for like YouTube thumbnails, for social media posts, all of that stuff. Uh, you know, Someone from the community just made the one that I posted today, but stuff like this, stuff that we can include in our tweets. Because I hate giving, I call it a naked tweet, right? You do a tweet that doesn't have some sort of image or media associated with it, it just goes right past people. They just skip right past it, basically. If you have some cool imagery, some cool media, something associated with the post, it catches people's eyes. So they're providing content for this, right, moving forward. And really, it's marketing has been a struggle because we're not willing to accept anything less than than the most optimal use of our budget. So we're not going to be paying people to be doing busy work. We're not going to be paying people to be doing failed outreach, right? So we give people a chance. After a couple months, the not the last guy, but the guy before that, we had to get rid of him. We gave him a few chances. The last guy, he only lasted like 3 weeks or something. We got rid of him because we're just not, when we're talking about the budget, I treat it as if when I spend money on this, if I was coming straight out of my pocket, right? And it needs to make sense because I want to get the most bang for our buck, and I'm not willing to compromise on that. So what that means is it takes time to get the right people on board that can deliver that for you. And it's been a process, but we are very happy with the people that we're working with right now. Also, just the prices in general are better. So they're not middleman skimming and all of that stuff. Uh, so that's great from that perspective. Now let me talk about fiat on ramps. So the current status with fiat on ramps is we have been approved by two. We decided not to apply to one of them, and we have a backup option which we have not applied to, which we could apply to. The two that approved us, the current state is one of them is willing to list us right now, but they cannot do custom contract integration, which means, for example, if someone was to use the fiat on ramp to buy drip, they could only buy the drip from PancakeSwap. So they would use their credit or debit card on the fiat on ramp widget, which would be on our sites, and then that widget would buy the drip on their behalf from PancakeSwap and send it to their wallet, right? Which means the tax would be applied, which means we would not be utilizing our DEX, and which means we cannot set up additional incentive structures, such as a tax break if the person that is buying it gets immediately staked in the faucet, for example. And we want to have this back end functionality. Now, we have another option, which is completely willing to do this back end functionality, right? Um, the issue is, but it's a trade off, but I think it's a worthwhile trade off, but we're working out the details. Is they are more expensive. So, from a listing perspective, they're like 2 times more expensive. Uh, and from a fee perspective, they are like maybe 1% more expensive. So like a 5% charge instead of a 3 or 4% charge, right? Which uh, obviously want the best rate, but the benefit there is no KYC and no KYC under $2,000 for individual orders. And that's big because what that allows people to do is use, if they want an anonymous fiat on ramp into our assets, they can go buy a couple $500 prepaid gift cards, right? And use those as debit. And now they have a no KYC, essentially anonymous on ramp, fiat on ramp to our assets. And then, of course, they could use their credit or debit as well. And another thing is the other option has a limit of, I think, $9,900 per month, whereas this option has essentially no limit. So you would have to KYC if you want to do an order size more than $2,000 in one transaction. I mean, but if you're okay with KYCing, you could buy $100,000 worth in one transaction, right? It's just going to be based on the limitations of your credit or debit card, essentially. Uh, so uh, so the former, right, the one that allows for no KYC, the ability for for a privacy element, uh, the ability for additional functionality that would allow the purchase to be happen on our native DEX, which means the user, in the case of Drip, would not have to pay the 10% tax because it's coming from our DEX. Where you buy from our DEX, it's not taxed. So that's another thing, right? So it will cost 1 or 2% more as far as the fee, but you won't have to pay the 10% tax. So it will cost you like half the price. So so it will be cheaper. And we can also do things like, for example, give an option when someone is buying on with the fiat on ramp to choose an option. Do you want to get it to your wallet or get it to the faucet? You get it to your wallet, it's a regular purchase. It goes to your wallet. You pay no tax because you just bought it from our DEX. If you decide to have it credited to you in the faucet, then you only pay an 8% tax instead of the 10% tax that you would typically pay if you bought Drip from our DEX and then staked it in the faucet. You're going to pay that 10%. And what this will do is encourage fresh capital to come into the platform. And we know it's fresh capital because it's coming on through the fiat on ramp. And due to the taxes associated with Drip, it doesn't make sense to sell Drip just to buy it back with the fiat on ramp to save 2% on staking. That wouldn't make sense. You would end up paying more in taxes. So it would create an incentive and a reward for people that are coming on with fresh capital as opposed to people that are hitting max payout, for example, withdrawing and just setting up a new wallet. So there's some serious benefits there. Now, what we're speaking about with them is the fact, some technical ways that I think that we don't even technically need to be listed. We just need to have the ability for BNB to be purchased using the fiat on ramp and then have it integrated with one of our custom contracts that buys the Drip from our DEX on behalf of the user and then distributes it in the way we want to distribute it. So because of that, I think we can get the cost way down. So potentially only pay like $10,000 instead of $150,000 to get all three of the assets list. So this is something I actually, right before I got this call, I just got it out of a development meeting with our backend dev that's doing the fiat on ramp contract work about the details, whether we could do it in a way where I was just describing, right, and the specific details of that, and we agreed that yes, we could do it in that way, and it would save us a ton of money. So I wrapped up that meeting literally 3 minutes before I had to go in here, so I haven't gotten a chance to relay that info to the on ramp providers that we're in negotiations with. But I'm going to be doing that when I get off this call. So basically, when I get off this call, I got a few things to do. One, I have to write out this point to the fiat on ramp providers, and two, I need to get in the a call with the back end and front end dev for Animal Farm V2. I just want to talk with the front end guy about the stable swap migration. Even though that's finished, I got a couple questions I want to run by him. And the back end dev, I got to give him the Dogs Roulette contract and get him set up tonight to start testing that. And once that's tested, all we need to do is have the UI built, which we have meetings scheduled with the front end devs who will build that, and they're available. We just needed to decide whether we're going to move on that before Scratchy or after Scratchy, which we'll know in the next couple of days after we run some tests on Dogs Roulette and make sure that it is ready to go, right? So that's kind of the state of everything. We got a ton going on. We're getting a ton done. This has really been the first week that everybody has been back from Monday to Friday, able to put in full days since the holidays, and we're just we're crushing it. So let me just look at what we have scheduled coming up for marketing. So tomorrow, Crypto Bape has a premiere countdown started that will be going live on Saturday. We have Google and YouTube ads going live today. They actually went live 10 minutes before we got into this call. We have a new contest that we're going to be starting on Monday. As far as I'm concerned, the previous marketing manager really dropped the ball on the last contest, and we only ended up getting not even a fraction of 1% of the people that engaged with it last time. So we're basically going to scrap that contest and start a fresh one, and we're going to be starting that Monday, right? And we're going to use that to really push some of the promos that we have already scheduled. We have three big top 10 crypto YouTubers right now. Two of them are locked in. One of them, we have the opportunity to do a interview with him this weekend. I'm waiting to hear back because he's actually friends with one of our DAO members, and we were waiting to hear back from the DAO member because he said that, hey, look, it'd be a great co-promotion. He'd probably be willing to do it just for the co-promotion. Let me reach out to him. We were waiting for him to get back to us, and he was taking a long time to get back to us. So we reached out directly. We spoke with him. We got an available dates that they're available, and we agreed upon a rate that we would be willing to pay. We spoke to the DAO member, and we're waiting for him to get back to us by tomorrow to let us know whether he had any success with that or not. And if not, then we're just gonna go right with the rate that we decided on through the marketing team. And as I said, that's that's locked in. We just have to work out what specific day we'll do it. Probably next week, uh, because he's available this weekend. But we just want to if we get on there as a co-promotion, not have to pay for the promotion. That's obviously a better thing to do. So that will likely be happening next week. And the other two are one of them we're in the talks right now. The other one it's locked in. We just need to schedule it. Um, and we have Bloomberg, Bazinga, Yahoo Finance, Business Insider, and Yahoo Times 5 press releases coming out all this month. And the main reason for this, right, is because we're going to use them for our the community, to use them for the general exposure that you get, be able to put them on our landing page. We have some updates coming to our landing page that the marketing team has put together to just improve the landing page altogether. But also, and maybe most importantly, for search engine optimization purposes. So we're going to hit a bunch of these press releases at the same time using specific terms that we know are working right now for search engine optimization. So when people put in these terms, our press releases about our projects will come to the top of the list on Google. So when people type in DeFi, for example, our press releases will be at the top. And that's where we are from there. Now, to kind of, because I saw someone talk about this, uh, bring this up a couple days ago about the Bloomberg article. So the state of, and I don't mean to bring up something that's a little bit of a bummer at the end. I don't like to do that, but it's not a bummer, but it is what it is. So our old marketing manager is the one that set that up. They set it up with a marketing firm called let me just bring it up so I don't say the wrong name, called Centauri, right? And they pitched us that it was an unsponsored Yahoo Finance and Bloomberg article. And so what we did was we said, okay, let's do it, right? The prices are somewhat reasonable, and we would love to get a Bloomberg and a Yahoo Finance unsponsored article. The Yahoo Finance unsponsored article comes out. It's great. We use the same journalist as the Bloomberg sponsored article. So we got multiple confirmations that it was an unsponsored article. We had the same journalist, everything. Uh, the Bloomberg one is was set to come out. We had to give our last approval on it, and we noticed, wait a minute, this is an article. This is a press release. And the thing is, articles cost like 4,000 times more than a press release. And also, you're extremely limited on what you're able to say in press releases as opposed to a general unsponsored article. So they wanted us to make all of these edits to it. They wanted us to, uh, and they wanted us it to be a press release instead of an article at essentially the same rate. We told them is no. First of all, if we wanted a press release, we could have gotten a press release and gotten it for a fifth of the price. Not a fifth of the price, but like 5% of the price. And also, we had a very specific narrative that we wanted to get across in this article that we cannot get across in the press release. So either you need to give us our money back, or you need to give us something that is equivalent to a Bloomberg article plus something to make up for the fact that you've wasted our time for over a month now. And they came back with a counter offer that was essentially a two additional press releases. And the money just doesn't make sense. That's not the correct rate. So what we told them is, no, you need to give us your money back. We gave them 72 hours to give us our money back. The great thing about working with the firm that we're working with is they are the marketing firm that we're working with now. They are a licensed marketing firm in the U.S. They have offices in Dubai and connections in Dubai. Centauri is located in Dubai, and we could do a formal complaint and essentially threaten legal action against them if they do not give us our money back. And it's not that much money. but still, like we, we're not going to let some small firm play us like that and not use our money efficiently. Uh, so that's on the table. So they have essentially 72 hours from 2 days ago, so they got like one more day to give us our money back on that. And if they don't, then we will threaten legal action, and then I'm sure they will give us the money because they don't want that. But anyways, these are things that are associated with the past marketing firm that we were working with. That is, we're not working with them anymore for good reasons, and we're having so much more progress with the new marketing firm. Um, and then let me just end this with one super bullish update on something that we're working on. So my I'm not going to give a ton of details on it because really this is something that that's in the early stages, but it's something that I'm 100% committed to. Um, what what my vision is moving forward, what I want to do, right, is focus on lending, privacy, and games, right? Because I think lending, privacy, and games are going to be essentially the big movers in DeFi over the next 5 or so years. I think lending, mostly because there is no good liquid lending market in crypto, a decentralized one. It does not exist, and I have the logic and the system put together that I know that we could build that would provide a liquid lending market that operates very similar to a DEX, where anybody can create a lending pool, anybody can provide collateral to get a loan for essentially any asset, and as long as there's someone willing to give a loan and someone else willing to provide collateral to get the loan issued to them, they can create a lending pool. And the rates that people are paying on interest is relative to the amount of lenders to the amount of collateral. And this can be automated and set up very similar to a DEX. And it's going to revolutionize the space, right? Just the way that DEXs revolutionized the space by bringing in a liquid decentralized exchange market. This is going to revolutionize the space by bringing in a liquid decentralized lending market, right? It's going to be big. And this is one thing that I am fully committed to building. And I want to build it as part of Animal Farm, right? And then on top of that, uh, we want to build additional lending options for Animal Farm that are not peer-to-peer type of lending. For example, the single asset lending option, which what we're looking at doing right now is the ability for people to stake single assets, for that asset to be lent on the back end to a option of bridges, and we're going to use a yield aggregation model, which is going to look at what bridge has the best rate for that asset that you're trying to stake, and they'll be automatically their asset will be automatically lent to the bridge that is providing the most yields. And potentially we can open it up to outside of bridges as well. And for LPs, we can open it to outside of PancakeSwap as well. But we want to go with the low hanging fruit first, right? The things that we know is going to that we can do right now. So there's a handful of bridges, right? There's Stargate, there's AnySwap, and Stellar are the ones that Seller, sorry, not Stellar, Seller that we're looking at. And the model that we want to use is integrating all three of these bridges. The bridge that is led to on the back end is going to be determined by whatever one is providing the highest yield based on the asset that you want to stake. It's going to take the reward token that you're earning on the bridge through the back end lending. It's going to sell it for the asset that you hold. So say you're staking BNB on our platform, it's single asset. That BNB will be earning on our incentive structure, so it'll be earning AFD, while it's being lent out on the back end to whatever bridge has the best yield at the time. It's going to be earning the reward token of that bridge. That reward token is going to be sold for the asset that you have, in this case BNB, and it's going to compound that BNB into your principal with a percentage of it going to supporting the dog pound and a percentage of it going to supporting the pig pen, right? So that way, it's building more cash flows for the dog pound and the pig pen, which help strengthen our incentive structure and support our native assets while giving the utility of allowing you to earn yield on your uh, single asset tokens in a way that is auto compounding. So you're earning the highest possible yield you can earn on your native asset that is being auto compounded to you. So you're earning compound interest in the form of BNB or BUSD or whatever your native asset is, while you're also earning AFD, which is which is backed by our whole incentive structure, and also creating cash flows for dog pound and pig pen, right? So I just had a full interview dev meeting yesterday with the new backend devs that we're going to be hiring to work on this, and this is the single asset lending option that we're going to be doing. So these are right now the two main lending utilities that I'm going to build for Animal Farm is the yield aggregating bridge lending auto compounding for single assets, and uh, the uh, the full peer-to-peer DeFi liquid liquid lending market, which the bridge model is going to come first, right? Because that's something that we're ready to go with, and we're going to get working on uh, very shortly. The uh, the the other lending model is going to take a bit more work. So I see that coming out in like Q3 or definitely by the end of the year. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we want to get out before then. But the single asset lending is going to be huge, right? It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a great utility for Animal Farm and create new cash flows and really be attractive to the people that want to earn yield on single assets through providing to bridges. Because not only is it going to auto compound for you, it's going to put you in whatever bridge is earning the most yield automatically. So this is a very, very powerful tool. There's billions of dollars in bridges, and we're going to attract and basically leech the user base from these bridges by just providing more utility with the same benefits. Um, I want to do a privacy option. This is something that I don't we don't have anything in the works with. It's just something that I'm very interested in doing, adding more privacy to smart contracts in general. An improvement on Tornado Cash, which I do have very good ideas for, that I do know how I would implement, utilizing some different ZK stocks and factory contract protocols. But we haven't actually started working on that yet. But that is something that I would like to do. And then games, right? Because uh, we've already started working on an auto battler game that is we, we've we've taken a model that is a mobile game that is a non-blockchain mobile game, an auto battler that has hundreds of thousands of daily users, that is extremely popular and has an awesome model that we can effectively adopt and and put on chain. So it would be a very similar game, but we're doing verified fairness, verified trustlessness, and the ability to wager on the outcomes of games and tournaments. So, uh, so that is something I'm very interested in doing, which we've already started working on. We have the Dogs of Fortune game, which is the contracts for that are effectively finished, but I'm not fully happy with it. Right? Uh, I, it's a very cool game, a very fun game, but it's just I'm not willing to release anything just to release it, right? If we're releasing something, it has to be the best on the market, and it has to be something that is that people are going to want to play, even if there's no money involved. And there's a couple things that we could do to the Dogs of Fortune game, such as implementing a team dynamic to it, which which I think can take it over the edge. Now the Dogs Roulette game, uh, I think that's we're ready to go with that, because that is that's a basic like wagering roulette game. So that's a game that is has a clear utility that people will play, that has very little overhead as far as development. We're already finished with it, and that will be burning and removing dogs from circulation like wildfire. So we want to, that's something that we can move on now. But this is where our focus will be this year. Now, one more bullish thing, right? That I want to talk about, that we've opened the door to, is super chats, and I don't want to. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail because I don't want to be giving any info to competition. But we're in talks right now with a company that does super chats, right? Regular credit and debit super chats. Their rate that they're offering is half the rate that YouTube offers. They're offering 15%, a 15% fee on super chats. YouTube charges 30%. Twitch charges 50%. It is going up to 70%. Where we want to create a model that charges half the rate of YouTube, is going to charge like 12% of the rate of Twitch, and has a crypto option. So it will be a standardized way that will allow streamers to accept crypto super chats, that because it operates at the OBS level and not on the streaming platform level, works on all streaming platforms, and it will effectively allow anybody that has an EVM compatible token to donate it to a streamer and have it trigger a super chat, and the streamer will be able to choose what their preferred asset is and different thresholds for what will actually trigger a super chat. So, for example, the streamer can choose, I want my preferred asset to be BUSD. So now, whenever anybody sends them a EVM compatible token to their wallet, right, it'll be one standardized EVM compatible wallet address. It gets automatically swapped to their preferred asset, and if it's over the threshold of the amount that the streamer chose to trigger super chat, it will trigger a super chat. And this way, not only can people utilize their crypto, but also they can do super chats at a much lower fee than any of the competition, whether that's in crypto or credit or debit. Of course, we wouldn't charge 50% for crypto. It would be more like something like 5%. And we can create incentives for our asset to be the preferred asset of the streamer. So, for example, if the preferred streamer chooses AFP as a preferred asset, they pay a less of a fee, so they get more of the money that's being donated to them. And we can even do things like have a small yield earned by it. So if they keep their AFP in their streamer balance, they're earning like 5% APY or something like that, which is not a ton, but it would offset the fees. So this is extremely exciting. There's a lot more that I could go into it with, but I don't want to give any more information to anybody, because it's something that we're going to be focused heavy on. The developers that are building the drip stuff right now will be finished with this stuff. Really, the one thing that we're kind of not stuck on, but working through, is the additional functionality through the fiat on ramp thing, which we're wrapping up right now. And other than that, we got the website design, the contracts are built, we're ready to go. So within the next week or two, the drip stuff will be finished, and we're gonna go right into where I'm gonna put that dev team right into the super chat functionality, because that's going to be massive. And I want to get on that right away. And just to make sure that we have a time edge here, where we've already established communications to get a lot of the basic technical details out of the way. So as soon as they're finished with the drip stuff, they can get right to the development side of the super chat functionality, which is going to be massive. And this is I'm not going to get more into it, but trust me, guys, this is going to be one of the biggest things to hit DeFi in a while, I feel. And then there just to talk about Drip a little bit more, I got out of a meeting, I believe yesterday, with a development team that are building games for Drip. I got a chance to check out the games. One of them is a platformer. One of them is a shooter, like you're in a little aircraft, like spaceship, and you're shooting things. And basically, the way they have their game set up is there's a buy-in, so you pay whatever it is, 2 drip, 5 drip to play the game like an arcade, and 50% of that drip is burned. So it's removing drip from circulation. The other 50% of the drip is um, it is used for prizes, and it's not just individual prizes but team-based prizes. So you'll be able to compete playing these games with your drip teams, and there'll be like monthly and weekly competitions where the winner of these competitions will get drip airdrops, which are coming from the money that people are paying to play the games, right? And the games look very cool. They're quality games that you would play on like a mobile game, or that you would get on Steam. The main thing is that I had to speak with them about is the games. We need to make sure that the games are hardened against cheating, and the more complex you make a game, the more vulnerable it is to cheating, because um, there are just more vectors to exploit. So, um, the the kind of conversation that we had is one of the developers' perspective was, well, even if there was someone cheating, they're still paying the drip, and there's still more drip being burned than being paid out. So regardless, even if someone's cheating, it's still going to be super positive for drip. And of course, my response to that was yes, but uh, if the only people that are winning are cheating, no one's going to want to play. So the games need to be fun, enjoyable, and fair, and that's the whole point of doing things on a blockchain. So that's where we're at now. They say on the 20th, they should be at a point where everything's developed for the games, and we need to make that decision on whether we're going to say, okay, let's go with it, or let's focus on something else, do another game. But that's going to be big for Drip, and we would love to get that out at the same time as the UI. Now, the fiat on ramp, we're most likely going to go with the second option, which allows for contract integration. And what that will allow people to do is buy into the game with their credit or debit, so we know it's fresh capital coming in, and potentially get an additional prize in the game, give additional incentives for fresh money coming in, essentially. And there's a lot more we can do on that end as far as creating incentive structures once we have the fiat on ramp. And uh, as I already described, the fiat on ramp decisions that we have to make right now is one of them is saying that one of them is saying that yes, they can do the additional integration, but it's going to take 2 months, and it's going to cost a shitload of money. And then the other one is saying we can do it right now, we can get it done in a week, but it's going to cost like double what the other one was charging to do a regular integration without the smart contracts. And but I just got out of a call with my development team, and we think that we can get it done in a way that does not require a bunch of extra work from the fiat on ramp side, and potentially we could get it done for like 90% less. And we're talking about 6 figures, right? So it's not, it's I want to make sure that we're using our money appropriately. We're not just saying, okay, let's just spend $150,000 on this, if potentially we could do it in another way and only spend 10 or 15,000. So we're getting it done. You know, you guys should know that regardless of whether we were having this negotiation back and forth right now, the dev team would still be needed to spend this time developing. So it's not, you know, we're just using the time most efficiently to make sure we get the best rate while the team's doing this. But uh, yeah, we're cooking on all cylinders now. The whole team is very motivated, and you guys are going to start seeing a lot of marketing and development being delivered, starting with the migration next Thursday. So that's all I got. Next Thursday we'll be doing uh, the call will essentially be uh, the voice chat will essentially be talking about the migration, right? Because it's going to be happening on the migration. I would like to have one AMA in between that where I just get to answer community questions. So I'm going to have BP schedule that for next week. And other than that, guys, we got a ton going on. I could go on forever. I got the development team that I want to go over Dogs Roulette with and that stuff waiting for me. So I'm going to hop off for now. But I appreciate all you guys, and I hope you're excited as me. I don't see any other teams out there putting in the kind of work that we're putting in, and now's the time to benefit from that as an early investor. So, uh, thank you guys, and I'll see you later.
Well, there we are. It was exciting, wasn't it? What do we think of that? I was getting a bit worried towards the end because I thought, is he going to start talking about the ship or not? I know he talked about the Fiat on ramp quite a bit, but I was like, don't forget. And then he snuck it in right at the end, bless him. The games sound great. He mentioned the games last week, and I was really intrigued to know what that was, because that's the first time really he'd mentioned. I think he might have mentioned it briefly last year in passing, but nothing really ever came of it. But he mentioned the games last week, and I was like, yeah, what's that all about? This sounds like a drip version of Space Invaders. That sounds brilliant. I'm all over that. So yeah, really interested to see what that's going to be like. What do you all make of it? You good? Disappointed? Pleased? Excited? I think drip prices sort of held pretty steady all the way through that, and for the last few hours, to be perfectly honest. So really much movement. I'm gonna very quick. I'm gonna shoot off in a bit, but I'm gonna quickly want to buy a couple of drip and send to the tax vault just to again do me a little bit. Do that. Oh, way too. Oh. I need to do little bits and bobs. It all helps. Again, this is just me. I'm not suggesting anyone does this. This is, you got to do your own thing. Feeding the tax vault does help get rid of the drip out of the supply. It means that the tax vault hasn't got to mint some. You know the story. You know the drill. Again, but just remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm not advising anyone to do anything. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I'm going to buy a couple of drip here. Again, just to send to the vault. So let's do that. Live on camera. Get that, BBC. I'll wait for the cross chain. I reckon that'd be huge. Didn't hear him mention that again like he did in the last one. Yeah, he did. He sort of mentioned it. That was the reason they were going. I think he was leaning towards the second option on ramp, if I heard that right. So basically, yeah, there's two options of the Fiat on ramp. There's one that they could do in a week, but doesn't do what he wants. But the second option, which is going to take longer, but does have the option of the cross chain and yeah, the option of the cross chain. So I might be wrong because I was fiddling around with my stream settings, but I'm sure that was the case. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's why he's going with option 2. So have I got hydrating a bit as well. Drip I've just bought, I'm literally going to set there. There we go. So let's send this. Oh, entertainment, the next level, isn't it? Right. Burn drip. Receipt. Burn receipt. Bail on me. Again, just my little bit. It's only a few drip, but every little bit helps. Go burn receipt. I'll take a snip of that so I can stick it on my spreadsheet later. Yeah, what do we all think? Must admit, the games I think are good. The new UI, I think obviously that's needed. Although I must admit, I love this. I've said all along, I love the water. I think it's brilliant. But let's be honest, it's not going to attract your corporate investors, is it? So Elon Musk probably isn't that bothered about that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the new UI. Be it on ramp, I think is going to make a big difference just to make it easier to get in. Because again, I've got friends who, when I talk to them about drip, I've said this before in other videos. You talk to them about it, it's like, okay, how do I get in? And then you've got to go through the whole rigmarole of trying to explain you're buying your BNB on a central exchange. You've got to transfer it to a MetaMask wallet. How do you set up a MetaMask wallet? And they just can't be bothered. So it's that's a little bit off-putting. So the sooner we can get that, the better. You've really got to be into it to be able to really sort of fight your way through. I mean, I've got a few. You'll know if you've watched my last few videos. I've literally just started a very, very small team, and they're all sort of scratching their heads. Really, they're not really got their heads around it yet. So I've got to do a private video for them to put them through it. But I'll do that. I'll get that sorted. But yeah, it's was it the 20th of? I think it's the 20th of February. Everything should be ready for drip, and the game should be ready. So we'll wait and see. I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Wait and see what happens. I burnt my drip for the day. I've sent my drip to the tax vault. AMA's done. BC's done. Yeah, it was good. It was good. A lot of stuff we heard last week. A bit of repetition. He does that a lot, doesn't he, Forex? But I still quite like listening to the guy. The guy's just fascinating. I can't wait to see this NFT avatar thing that he's got. What did he call it? I can't really call it now. Anyway, I can't remember. But yeah, he just seems a lot more relaxed after the Christmas break. I think he's good. There we go. So thanks for joining. I know there's only a few of us tonight, but it was multinational. So we had, what we have? New Zealand, we had Amsterdam, we had States, I think, if I remember rightly. Thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for again testing this out. I really was just doing this tonight to mainly test that it was all working again, because I had such a nightmare on my last live stream, if you remember. So I'm pleased it worked. I'm trying to set up, I'm trying to play around with my streaming software so that things do get that little bit better and a bit more interactive. So yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. Cheers, Dobby. Puddle of drippers. We're still a little puddle, but we're growing. We're getting there. Don't forget to like. If you haven't already hit the like button, please hit the like button. It does help. I know there's only a few of us, but it really still does help get the message out there. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It does help me out as a channel to grow. And the super chats thing, that'd be good. I've never had a super chat before. I'll have to have a look about switching that on, because I quite fancy the idea of being paid in drip. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Right, I'm going to take it an earlier night then, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one. Take it easy. Well, good evening. Take care, everybody.